You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, somewhere Angel Reese must be in shambles over something like this because, well, all she hears is from the media, and let's basically keep it real. We hear from her. You ever notice that how often she's talking and there's a lot of I's and me's? Me, I. Okay. The media, the legacy mainstream media, the sports media keeps trying to ramrod it down our throats that there are so many superstars in the WNBA. A'ja Wilson, Angel Reese, and of course, we've talked about at great length on this channel how the media would keep ramrodding Angel Reese into the conversation about how the WNBA has grown. Now, let's be honest, this league hasn't turned a profit ever. 26 years, been living off the financial teat of the NBA. And if it wasn't for the NBA, they'd long since been shut down. But again, they keep putting Angel Reese and these other players into this narrative that they're really moving the needle, that people are really paying attention to everything that they've got going on. Now, Caitlin Clark recently, of course, played golf, and that drew a lot of attention. But I got to be honest with you. I saw this and was like, my mouth dropped. I couldn't believe it. Because, well, Caitlin Clark has went real viral doing one of the most benign things you could possibly think about doing, which is standing and clapping, okay? Now, in case you don't know, her boyfriend, Conor McCaffrey, is a coach for Butler, the basketball team in the NCAA. And, of course, as you can imagine, her and her parents were there supporting McCaffrey. Well, she has went super viral on video, standing and clapping. Okay, I mean, wow. Now, you see that. It says more than 3.3 million people watch Caitlin Clark do something simple, a simple gesture. And I couldn't believe this. Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark is nearly always in the spotlight, but more of late because of her appearances at Butler Bulldog games because of her boyfriend, Conor McCaffrey. Conor, one of the reputed NC2A coaches, Fran McCaffrey's three sons, is an assistant coach for the program. Meanwhile, his brother, Patrick McCaffrey, is a player for the Bulldogs. Clark was in Phoenix for Butler's Arizona tip-off tournament, which they won after beating Mississippi State 87-77 in the championship game on Friday. Clark was at the game with her parents, Brent and Ann, and brothers Colin and Blake, and the Fever star was highly engaged in the game, and her animated celebrations went viral. I got to be honest with you. I didn't think this was all that animated, but CBS Sports decided to post a clip to TikTok, and I was... How many people watched this clip? So I pulled it up over here. 3.3 million, no, 3.5 million people watched this clip of Caitlin Clark standing and clapping. That's it. Seriously.
In attendance to watch his sons, and there is Caitlin Clark. That's where Butler's got to have it. Brooks lofts it up, and Screen powers it home. Timeout, Chris Jens.
Andre Screen with the flush, but it's the...
That was the clip, folks. That was it. That was all there was to it. Nothing else. She was standing there rocking some Butler merchandise. Caitlin Clark in attendance to support her boyfriend, Conor McCaffrey, a Butler assistant coach. The caption read, wow. Okay. Clark was at the Butler game for the second night in a row. In the game before that, she almost shoved her brother, Colin Clark, to the ground while celebrating a blocked shot. She didn't even do that here. She just stood there and clapped. And 3.5 million people have watched that clip. I mean, who knows where it's going to actually end up. So all the while, and of course, if you just look at the ratings for the WNBA, there's a clear line between Clark and everybody else in the league. If the Indiana Fever's playing, they're drawing a respectful rating. In fact, better than some NBA ratings these days. But when you look at some of these other players and some of these other games, and you got to give Adam Silver credit because, well, and I hardly ever want to give him credit. I think he's one of the worst commissioners in sports. But he knows, he understands, and he's been very respectful of Clark. And in turn, so is the NBA and their socials and everything else in highlighting anything that Caitlin Clark does. By the way, the WNBA doesn't always do that, and a lot of people have taken note of it. I mean, it's strange. This league that Caitlin Clark has went to has reluctantly tried to keep her at arm's length. I've said they've got this WNBA introduction video. Welcome to the WNBA to all the new viewers that came. Caitlin Clark would be the one hosting that video this year. She would be the one standing there and talking instead of whoever that was that I've never seen in my life. And there would be nothing but Caitlin Clark highlights playing during the whole video. I did a video the other day. The guy that signed Michael Jordan to Nike said, she is Jordan now. She is the Michael Jordan for basketball. And I contend, I know Jason Whitlock said that he thinks she's the biggest sports star in the country. I think she's certainly at least in the conversation for the biggest needle mover in the country. I mean, I tend to believe because the NFL is always a ratings juggernaut and blows everything else out of the water that it's hard to say. I mean, I contend Tom Brady is probably still the most recognizable player, including ones that are still playing right now. But she's in the conversation, no doubt about it. So when people try to feed you this BS about Asia Wilson and Angel Reese and all these others and how they're moving the needle, just go, Caitlin Clark had 3.5 million people watch her stand and clap. I mean, really? Think about that for a moment. I don't think anybody else is getting that. I really don't. And if the other one gets 3 million viewers looking at something, she's probably 3/4 naked to do it. Just throwing that out there. Tell me what you think. These days, wholesome does sell. Whether the media wants to admit it or not. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.